Hey everyone, and welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're going to be diving into something you flagged in your notes. It's Marc Benioff's thoughts on something called AI agents.
Okay.
Now, when you hear that, you think, okay, is this just another conversation about chatbots?
Right.
But what Benioff is talking about, it's way more advanced.
Yeah.
It's almost not even the same category of technology.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
He really does frame it as kind of the next evolution
Yeah.
of AI.
Okay.
Chatbots are really sort of reactive, right?
Right.
They're responding to very specific prompts and inputs.
Uh-huh.
But what he's talking about with AI agents is they're proactive, they're autonomous, they can actually learn and adapt and make decisions independently to achieve a goal.
Okay, so give me an example. What would that look like in real life?
So imagine you have an AI agent that handles all your customer interactions.
Okay.
It's not just answering questions.
Yeah.
It can analyze customer data. It can anticipate their needs. It can even personalize offers and solutions, like all without you having to do anything.
Wow.
Or think about like an AI agent managing a complex marketing campaign,
Yeah.
It's optimizing ad spend. It's analyzing performance data, and it's tweaking strategies like as it goes.
That sounds almost too good to be true. I
Yeah.
mean, wouldn't all this automation lead to just massive job losses? Like, is that not a concern?
So it is, I mean, it's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And he does talk about sort of this automation anxiety.
All right.
But his view is that AI agents, while transformative,
Yeah.
they won't completely eliminate jobs.
Okay.
Instead, they will kind of change the nature of work, allowing us to focus on higher value tasks.
So instead of replacing us, they kind of become like these super-powered assistants.
Exactly. Yeah, like think about this. Instead of spending hours and hours on like data entry,
Yeah.
you could use that time to develop creative strategies or
Right.
build relationships with clients. It's really about using AI to kind of unlock human potential,
Right.
not necessarily replace it.
That makes sense. But I'm curious, Salesforce is Benioff's company.
Right.
Are they practicing what they preach?
So Salesforce is definitely putting its money where its mouth is.
Okay.
They've actually developed this platform called Agentforce,
Okay.
which is designed to kind of integrate these AI agents directly into business operations.
Got it.
And the idea is that Agentforce isn't about replacing those human workers.
Okay.
It's about augmenting their abilities.
Give me a specific example. How would that actually work?
Okay, so let's say you work in sales.
Okay.
Agentforce could analyze all of your customer interactions, identify patterns, and suggest like the optimal actions to take with each client, even predicting their future needs.
Wow.
That's kind of like having a personal AI assistant.
Yeah.
That's also like a whiz at reading people.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so this frees you up, the human salesperson, to focus on things like building those relationships and actually closing deals rather than getting bogged down in all the data.
Okay, so it's not this humans versus AI. It's
Yeah.
more like humans plus AI.
Exactly. But there is kind of a catch.
Okay.
And this is where Benioff has this Kool-Aid warning, right?
Right.
He's really cautioning against getting too caught up in all the hype, especially around these large language models like ChatGPT.
So what is he saying? Is he saying that this AI agent thing is a fad?
Not necessarily. I think what he's emphasizing is that even the current AI technology,
Yeah.
it still has limitations.
Right.
One example is this idea of what they call hallucinations.
Hallucinations. That sounds kind of creepy. What does that even mean?
It's not as spooky as it sounds.
Okay.
It's basically when AI systems generate these outputs that are just factually incorrect or nonsensical.
Huh.
So basically the AI is just getting things wrong,
Okay.
and sometimes in very convincing ways. Because you have to remember, these large language models are trained on just massive amounts of data.
Yeah.
And they can misinterpret that data or make connections that just aren't really there.
So even though these AI agents sound like they can do all this incredible stuff,
Yeah,
they're not perfect.
right.
They can make mistakes.
They can. And I think that's really the point Benioff is trying to drive home.
Okay.
We can't just blindly trust AI,
Right.
especially when it comes to making those important decisions.
Mhm.
It's really important to remember that AI is a tool.
Right.
And like any tool, it needs to be used responsibly and with a really clear understanding of its limitations.
So it sounds like we need to kind of temper our expectations a little bit,
Yeah.
acknowledge both the possibilities, but also keep in mind the potential downsides.
Exactly. And I think that balance is what makes this whole conversation so fascinating.
Totally agree. So where does that leave us with Benioff's vision for the future? Like, what does he see as the end game for these AI agents?
Well, that's where things get really interesting, and that's what we'll explore in part 2 of our deep dive.
I can't wait. I'm hooked.
Great. Picking up where we left off, Benioff really sees this future where AI agents are like deeply integrated into our daily lives,
Okay.
like almost collaborators and partners,
Okay.
rather than just these tools.
So what does that actually look like? Like, how do humans and these AI agents work together effectively?
He actually uses this analogy. It's like a symphony orchestra.
Oh.
You have all these different instruments, right?
Yeah.
Each one has its own unique strengths and abilities,
Yeah.
and they all come together to create this like harmonious whole.
Right. Right.
So you can think of AI agents in this analogy
Yeah.
as those individual instruments.
Okay.
Each one is kind of specialized in a particular task or a set of tasks.
Okay. I like that analogy.
Yeah,
But then who's the conductor? You know,
Right.
who's making sure everything's working together in sync?
That's us,
Okay.
the human. We become the conductors, the strategists, the creative directors.
Got it.
We set the goals, we define the vision, and we kind of guide the AI agents
Uh-huh.
towards achieving those objectives.
That's okay.
And we're using all of our human abilities, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, ethical judgment, all that,
Right. Right.
to ensure that the AI is being used responsibly and effectively.
So we're kind of finding that sweet spot where AI and human intelligence are actually complementing each other.
Yes, exactly.
Got it.
And I think what's really exciting about this collaboration is the potential to like democratize expertise.
What do you mean by that?
Imagine a world where even small businesses or individuals
Yeah.
can have access to the same level of AI-powered support
Okay.
that previously only these huge corporations had access to.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it kind of levels the playing field in a lot of ways.
It does, but does that then make humans obsolete?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think human ingenuity and creativity, that adaptability, those will always be valuable.
Okay.
The way we work will definitely change,
Mm-hmm.
but new opportunities are going to emerge.
Right.
I think the key is really focusing on developing those uniquely human skills
Okay, so
that AI agents just can't replicate.
like critical thinking,
Yes,
problem solving, emotional intelligence.
exactly.
Those become even more important
Absolutely.
in this AI world.
Those are the things that will set us apart.
Right.
And it's important to remember that AI is ultimately a reflection of us.
Yeah.
It's something we created,
Yeah.
and it's up to us to use it ethically.
You mentioned earlier that Salesforce is taking this kind of proactive approach to responsible AI.
Yes.
Can you talk a bit more about that?
They really are.
Yeah.
They're very vocal about the need for transparency and accountability and inclusivity in AI development.
Okay.
They're actually putting a lot of resources into research and development to create these AI systems that are fair, that are unbiased, that are really aligned with our values, and they've even created ethical guidelines.
For the development?
Yes, for the development and the deployment of these AI agents.
So they're not just putting it out there and saying, good luck, everyone.
No, not at all.
Figure it out.
They're taking it very seriously.
Okay.
It's about mitigating the risks while really maximizing the benefits.
It sounds like they're really trying to strike that balance between innovation and responsibility.
Exactly. And I think that's the key to really navigating this whole new era of AI.
Yeah.
We need to embrace that transformative potential while being very aware of those ethical implications.
Okay, so we've talked about collaboration, democratization, the changing nature of work, ethical AI development.
Right.
What about potential downsides? Like, does Benioff acknowledge any risks or challenges?
He does. He does.
Okay.
He's definitely aware of those potential pitfalls.
Okay.
And he constantly stresses that there needs to be this ongoing conversation.
Yeah.
And critical thinking around AI. He knows there are risks associated with any new technology.
Of course.
And AI is no different.
So what are some of those risks? What should we be cautious about?
Well, one concern is job displacement,
Yeah.
especially for jobs that involve those really repetitive or easily automated tasks.
Right.
And while he does think that new jobs will emerge, there will definitely be this period of transition.
Yeah, of course.
As the workforce adapts.
It's like the Industrial Revolution, right?
Exactly.
Like machines replaced some jobs, but then new jobs were created.
Exactly. And history shows us that technological advancements
Yeah.
always lead to shifts in the job market.
We need to be prepared for it.
We do, absolutely.
What else?
Another potential risk is just the misuse of AI agents for malicious purposes.
Okay, like what? Give me an example.
So imagine an AI agent that's specifically designed to spread misinformation
Oh, wow.
or manipulate public opinion,
Scary.
or an AI agent used for surveillance,
Right.
or even control,
Yeah.
infringing on people's privacy.
That's unnerving.
Yeah, these are all valid concerns that we really need to think about.
It sounds like we need to be very careful about who has access to this technology
Yes.
and how it's used.
Absolutely. This is why having those ethical frameworks and those regulations in place are so important.
We have to have some rules of the road.
We do. We have to establish these really clear guidelines
Yeah.
for development and deployment.
So it's not just about the technology.
It's about the human values.
The intention that's guiding the development and use.
It is.
This has been super insightful. I'm starting to see AI agents as more than just a technology, but
Yeah.
like the societal force
It is.
that's really going to shape the future
Absolutely.
of everything, work and life as we know it.
Yeah.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
All right.
I'd love to kind of bring it back to Salesforce.
Okay.
You know, how are they putting these principles into practice?
That's a perfect transition into the final part of our deep dive, where we'll really dig into Salesforce's specific initiatives
Great.
and what we can learn from their approach.
Perfect. Let's do it. All right. So we've talked about the potential of AI agents and the ethical side of things and even some possible downsides. So how is Salesforce tackling these challenges head on?
Well, they're really focusing on building trust and transparency right into their AI systems
Okay.
for the very beginning.
So what does that actually look like?
One big thing is data ethics.
Uh-huh.
They have these really strict guidelines for how they collect data,
Okay.
how they use it, how they store it.
Right.
And that ensures that the AI agents are trained on data that's unbiased and representative.
That's so important, right? Because if the data is biased,
Oh, absolutely.
the AI is going to be biased.
Yeah, you're going to end up with biased algorithms.
And discriminatory outcomes.
Exactly. And Salesforce gets that.
Okay, good.
And they're working hard to prevent it.
What else are they doing?
Another thing is explainable AI. Basically making sure that the decisions these AI agents make
Yeah.
are transparent. We can understand them.
So it's not just about AI that can do things.
Right.
It's about AI that we can actually trust.
Exactly. They believe that building trust in AI is key for people to really accept it and use it.
That makes sense.
And they're also working with others,
Okay.
like industry leaders and researchers and policymakers.
To come up with like standards.
Yeah. Ethical frameworks,
Yeah.
best practices for AI development.
So it's not just Salesforce on their own.
It's a group effort.
It's like we're all in this together.
Absolute.
Figuring it out.
Yeah. They recognize it's a shared responsibility.
It has to be.
And they're really focused on upskilling and reskilling the workforce.
Okay, so as AI takes on more tasks,
Yeah.
we need to make sure people have the skills they need.
Exactly. So they've started all these programs to provide training and resources.
Their own employees.
Yeah, for their employees.
Yes.
To adapt to these new ways of working. And they're working with schools too,
Oh, wow.
developing new courses.
To prepare students for the future.
Yeah, for this AI-powered world.
It's not just about the tech then.
It's not.
It's about the social impact.
It's about the whole picture.
Wow. This has been a really interesting deep dive.
It has.
We've learned so much about AI agents.
Yeah.
The ethical stuff, how Salesforce is approaching things.
It's a whole new world, really.
It is. It's exciting though, isn't it?
It is. Very exciting.
To see companies like Salesforce taking the lead,
Absolutely.
doing it in a way that seems responsible.
Yeah. It gives you hope.
It does. So to all our listeners out there,
Yes.
thanks for joining us
Thanks for listening.
on this deep dive into AI agents.
Yeah.
Keep learning, stay curious.
And let's build a future where tech helps everyone.
Couldn't agree more.
It's been great chatting.
It has. Until next time,
Bye.
keep on diving.